Rice TVX, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real road buyer. Sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he stores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold.
We are live. Smash that like button. It's starting in just moments.
Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educator on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice, the Pitbull, breaking the chain.
Once again, smash that like button for the Three Wise Man Wednesday live stream.
In the arena where truths collide. Rice TVX, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom like paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.
Boy, we are all three live streaming on our YouTube channels. We are doing it on our X accounts, and I am doing it on my Rumble, and I have to keep adjusting this microphone. I don't know what the hell the deal is. I need to get this thing fixed, but I appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in and joining us for this live stream. Smash that like button if you're watching on the X side. Take an opportunity to repost. Make sure you're following all three of us. Links are down below in our video description for each other's socials, and we're going to go ahead and get some quick messages out of the way before we begin today's show.
Looking for a reliable crypto exchange? Look no further than Fairdesk.com. Trusted by Crypto Blood for over 2.5 years, Fairdesk powers Bloodalytics, his proprietary trading system known for highly accurate buy and sell signals. CB has trusted Fairdesk's reliable system for years to enhance his trading strategy with Bloodalytics. It's the backbone of consistently beating the market. So join CB and trade with confidence. Use the link in the description below and get 1 month free of Bloodalytics signals. Fairdesk.com. Trade smarter, trade better.
That's right. Trade smarter, trade better. I also want to remind people, I said it last week, but I actually made a mistake. The price increase takes place this coming Friday for the Bitcoin conference. I've got links down below in the video description, and I'll have it in my pinned comments. Let me go ahead and get this pulled up full screen. We got the Litecoin Summit taking place the 24th, 25th. Tickets are only $84. Use my link to support the channel. And also, when it comes to the Bitcoin conference, that is going to be taking place on the 25th through 27th. Passes, all pass prices do go up this past Friday. The agenda was released today. You can get 10% off with my affiliate link or use the discount code RICE at checkout to get 10% off your ticket. Ticket prices do increase Friday. The agenda has been released. If you guys are watching this over on the Blood or the MineYourBiz side, make sure you're following me on the X at RiceTVX. If you're watching on the X and Blood side, make sure you're following Seth at MineYour_Biz. If you're watching on the Biz or the Rice side, make sure you are following Crypto Blood at CryptoBlood_. What is going on, gentlemen? It's Three Wise Man Wednesday. It's the reverse of the Third World War or something.
Yeah, it's an anagram, right? We probably get creative and go even deeper there. But no, man, I'm just every day that we don't see ICBMs flying, I guess it's a good day, right? Yeah.
Check it out. Look in the corner, Blood. Here we go. Oh, look at that. That is so beautiful right there.
That's sweet. Yeah, I meant to say something before we went live. I like that. It looks good.
It's like it's a bunch of threes in a weird way.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
I like the symmetry of it.
Mm-hmm.
And even though technically it would be an MWM, which still would look cool, but it throws off the reverse that we're trying to go for with the 3WW. So thank you for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate it.
That's right. What's going on?
So we got
today,
over
man?
238 people watching right now. Most of that is obviously happening on the X side. So we
There
appreciate
we go.
that.
A lot of people on drugs. A lot of people on X pills, my friend. A lot of people on X pills.
Shout out to Misko in the house. We have Crypto Incognito.
In you?
It took me a minute, but it's Incognito. And we have MineYourBiz is actually in the house as well. We have Crypto Blood. He's in the house. Caffeinated Crypto. Thanks for joining. Alex Kaimana. Alice Kaimana. What's up? Thanks for joining us. In and Out Crypto.
Hey.
Angel, thanks for tuning in. We got
In and
King
Out
Chris
Crypto.
Universe, Mr. X. Good seeing you guys, man. Again, take an opportunity to smash that like button. We greatly appreciate. Today, we're just going to be basically having a free-form conversation about things that we are doing and have done over the past few years as for prepping for the inevitable, for when shit hits the fan, whatever that might be, because there's a plethora of things that could come down the pipeline that could cause shit to hit the fan. Not only an economic collapse, we have all this fuckery happening in our selection process. Who knows who the hell came across our border and what their intentions are. There's just so many speculations of things that can just happen just domestically that could cause us to have issues that could bleed out internationally, but just in our own backyard. I mean, we've obviously got a lot to worry about. So I think this has been something that Seth has been having on his mind heavily lately. So this is going to give him an opportunity to vent and to release.
We should have made this a, too hot for
full-on
YouTube.
uncensored.
I'm trying to tell you, brother.
Well, we might have to do some heavy inline censorship, self-censoring, right, as we talk through this. But
yeah,
honestly, I don't think we do. I was saying in the chat, like, I don't really think I haven't had any videos get hit with anything. And now that I'm saying it out loud, it's probably actually going to happen. But I've been really clean about it, and we've said a lot of things on streams. Like we did that one stream where we were just basically trying to say anything that would trip up the algorithm, and it still didn't work. So I think we're pretty much good to go as long as we're not talking about unaliving people.
Sure, yeah, no. What the one thing that has me worried about that is that this is a typical three letter agency play that you can pull it out of their playbook. They let you get away with it for a while, then you get a little bit of notoriety for it. You go a tiny bit viral. Then you get the knock on the door like, hey, we see that you have a very unpopular opinion. We have a job for you. Let's get away with this time. For you? Yeah, we got a job for you. You want to keep your livelihood? Hey, we think it's great you have a nice popular opinion that we don't think is popular. But, we need some help from you on some things. So if you want to keep what you love, come do a little job for us.
What would you do with that proposition?
That happens to cypherpunks all the time. So people who were like all punk rock in the early 1990s, coming up with encryption algorithms that the federal government didn't like or couldn't hack. Man, 15 years later, they were working for the NSA. 20 years later, they had government contracts for NIST doing encryption algorithms that no one's ever going to publicly say have backdoors, but we just can kind of presume that minimum 80% of those encryption algorithms have backdoors. Right, like you live long enough, and you work for the man.
So I'm going to ask again, Seth. If you were propositioned with
you should know. Have you been propositioned? Is what you should know.
Not yet. And
not a what if. Not a what if. It's like,
right.
Not yet. They're still letting the reel out from me, and I don't know when they're going to start trying to reel it back in. Right.
He's some co-intel pro right here, man. He's playing a game. You're the white Trek with 3 Ks.
Yeah, I'll let you see my eyes though. Yeah. So
shut up. Yeah, you will. So maybe you're not. Maybe Rice is because we can't see his eyes right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I got the apocalypse glasses on.
Shout out to Trek with 3 Ks. I mean 2 Ks. I haven't seen him in a while.
Hopefully he's still
busy
alive.
Busy working for Uncle Sam playing soldier, man. The one thing I like about that I love about what Trek does. I don't think he's fully retired. I think he was waiting for the clock to run down another.
Well, he thought he was going to be able. I think he thought he's going to be able to get out with the job scenario. With what's the word that people have been using for that? There's a word. It's really funny. But fuck it, the vaccination. I mean, they were talking about military personnel being required to do it, and then I think that there was enough pushback. They stopped requiring it, so all the people who thought they were going to legitimately be able to get out had to stay in.
Yeah. So I mean, he's probably talked about it a couple times. I don't want to tell too much of his story because that's some of his stuff. But he was apparently directly involved in some of the vaccination rollouts, like just part of his day job, right? As a reservist, he was
jabbing people.
He was frontline for security. I don't know at what point he was actively, sticking people with poison. So, but he was there. He was there, and he didn't like.
He was in DC on January 6th too.
Interesting.
It's weird how he's always in these interesting places, right?
He was giving me a lot of really good inside information.
Rice was there on January 6th as well.
Yeah. But he was giving me info because he was there weeks before as the things were being set up and all this. And that's when there was like a fence around that area, and it looked like the fence was designed to keep people in and not out. And I was asking them questions about that. And that's also the same time period that they had the military sleeping in parking garages.
Classy. Well, the Fourth Amendment still exists, and most people don't know what it is. The Third and Fourth Amendments both exist. People don't know what they are. So, yeah, they can't very well go commandeer other people's homes or hotels. We don't like that. We voted against that during the Revolutionary War.
That interview is a 3-hour long interview, and it's going to take me a little bit before I can spend that much time to watch an Andrew Tate interview about crypto. I don't know. It's just more of like a crypto interview. Where he's talking about cryptocurrency, and he's doing it with the Thread guy. I forget what his name is.
I thought it was not Thread guy. Isn't that actually his legit handle? Was not Thread guy?
Not Thread guy. Okay, that's it. I'm trying to find the actual video now, but if somebody can find it and put it in the chat, that'd be great. But it's like a 3-hour interview, and it's supposed to be a lot about cryptocurrency.
Nice.
But I haven't had a chance to check it out. In 3 hours of Andrew Tate is not something.
Who's not Thread guy? Who was that? Is he popular?
I'm not familiar with the guy.
He's a Twitter KOL. He's in my world these days. As you guys know, I started a little company called Blocks Media Group. Part of what we do is some marketing for these tokens and stuff that everybody hates. We don't take the worst offenders, but we do have to have our resource lists. So not Thread guy is one of those people who on Twitter is known to promote tokens and NFT launches or just talk about them and get a lot of attention on
3 hours, 12 minutes. And then it kind of gives like a little bit of
why does Tate always interact with these lame ass niggas? I'm just gonna
well, I think we already know that Andrew Tate likes to get paid to do interviews. So this guy probably paid whatever the rate was, which is 50K. Not something I'm game for. Yeah, we talked 50K. About me and you explored the idea of trying to pay the motherfucker, but I wasn't really thrilled with it.
Yeah, I couldn't get myself to wrap.
I've never had to pay for someone like John McAfee. I never had to pay for someone like G. Edward Grant. I've never had to pay any of my interviews.
Legendary people. Same.
And then I'm going to pay 8. He's just a shill. He's just an internet personality who's a shill.
I don't think he's a shill. I think a lot of the things that he says has merit and validity, but I'm just not gonna pay for the clout, man. I'm sorry. We're gonna rock with each other just on the strength or not. This is how I look at it. So.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, the Tates, I mean, here's the thing. They've got a platform, and this is no different from any other celebrity for as long as we've been alive, right? The moment they got that platform, what are they doing? They're selling you isotoners, right? Isotoners, insurance, or whatever. Right. This is just a celebrity.
A1G or AG1, right? The green shit. Yeah. The supplement.
We're talking about Soylent Green?
Soylent? Yeah.
Soylent.
Now, they actually created like a protein drink called Soylent Green.
They call it Soylent. I had, when I was on the Microsoft team, like, it was fitting. Everybody on that team except me was like, "Oh, Soylent is so great." And I'm like, dude, it literally says soy. You're literally turning yourself into a soy boy by drinking
soy boy.
Well, drinking all that soy milk too,
Yeah.
it's all the people, it's all the boys that you see, they're grown up that have their tongue stuck out of their mouth. That was explained to me by Amina one time about the lack of breastfeeding and what was going into these boys' mouths that made them so feminine.
No, it's kind of sad actually.
Amina.
Yeah, it's sad though. Like you're saying, they're like we've seen. You guys ever watch Diary of a CEO? It's a great podcast out of the UK. This guy.
Oh, the black dude, he's light skinned guy. Yeah.
But I mean, his content flow is
very good interviews. Yeah.
Not a diary of not a diary of a made man.
No. Yeah, no. That one, I don't know what happened to that one. It seems like it fell off. But this one, Diary of a CEO, he had somebody on that talked about some like chemical processing. Really good episode on Ozempic. But this person talks about how the human genome is changing. I mean, you guys, the kids who are of the generation that they would be like the age of like our kids, like that next generation, their sperm counts are already dropping, and the trend is not slowing down. It's actually going lower somewhere after the year 2040, not 2140, 2040. If the trend does not change, sperm counts will approach zero in our lifetimes.
No way. No.
Yes, sir. In the developed nations.
No way.
Nowhere else.
Because of what the processed foods and all the shit, the combination of everything that's been going on for years.
Sure,
yes,
sure. But I don't know if you guys recall, there were rumors and rumblings of the jab having an effect on fertility in men very early. Then it got right, Seth.
By the way, this episode is brought to you by my unvaccinated sperm, which is for sale.
Let's go. Three for one special. Hey, are we 3 for 3?
Special.
You can mix it all up and get a little 3WW, baby.
3WW surprise.
Get a 1, 2, 1/3, 2/3 black boy.
Have you back on Jerry Springer, who is the father.
No,
1 out of 3 chance.
You voted for Trump, so you're not black.
Oh, right.
Remember? So there's no. It's just going to be a little white kid.
So it's stand for three white somethings. I don't know what the last W is, but 3. There you go.
3 white wise men.
There you go.
Yeah, I would say unvaxxed sperm is going to be the next big one.
It's the next big
AI. You want to have babies?
Good one, X. Good one.
Yeah, we got some awesome viewers, man. Shout out to Bobcat.
Yep.
I'll hit you up later,
Shout
Bobcat.
out to Bob.
I was supposed to talk to him last night, and he
is he going to Nashville?
I think it's where we're going to be talking about that. I want to find out if he's going. I'm not sure what's up with him.
Nice. I got bad news on that one. I won't be in Nashville.
Neither will Blood.
Yeah, I'm not going, man. It's you know what? It's been how many years now? 9 years of going to these things, and there's no ROI, Rice. I just have not.
Well, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there, and I'm giving myself of the day, like 1 full day at Litecoin and 1 full day at Bitcoin to network, do interviews, do some shit, and see what the ROI is, so I can redetermine whether or not I want to be in. Because I've been in this slowing down of the conferences. So far this year, I haven't gone to none.
Have I gone
this year? This year, no. So I really wanted to be able to go to this event, to be able to, if anything, just see a lot of people. I was hoping to see both you guys, but Bozak's going to be there. The Discover Crypto crew is going to be there. They're going to have a media house and doing all kinds of content. A couple other content creators I know are going to be out there doing content. So I'm looking forward to catching up with a lot of people, honestly.
Yeah, I've been to
in business
like 3 times in the last two months, and
I fuck around when I go to those events and don't try to maximize on it. And I need to do that. That's what I'm going to do this time.
Nice. I think the alpha is in the international events. To be honest, that for me, that's my travel plan now. Dubai was a little more of a stretch. I mean, you wouldn't normally lay out, that wouldn't normally lay out travel cash like that to go international. But I feel like I benefited big time by networking in those circles, and then even just something that's like whatever in our backyard, America's Hat, right? Futurist Conference in Toronto. I think some of the international stuff is good because we're not seeing just the same faces. It's people that maybe don't always come to the States for our events.
Yeah, but then you got to deal with all that issue with like the water and your bowels and all the food changes and stuff that you've even told me that you had to deal with, and then all those times on flights. I think I'm good on the international.
Oh, well, I mean, you can pick and choose, man. Here's the thing: going to like Delhi or whatever, Mumbai, and the food and water out there is not the same as going to some place that's a developed nation, somewhere in UAE. Yeah. So. Yeah, or Toronto, man. I don't think they have a serious problem with the water north of the border. I think it's south of the border. You get in trouble.
That's a really good documentary, and I think I might have sent a link of that back when we did some stuff with Stan, because there's a lot of relation to this, because it deals with a lot of the clotting that a lot of the morticians, a lot of the people that are doing what's the word? Autopsies and stuff, and the people that are at the morticians cleaning out the bodies for burial and stuff that they're finding from people that have been given a shot. So yeah, pretty interesting.
I forced my kids to watch that. They didn't sleep that night, but I won't apologize.
I mean, I think that's actually good that you did that. But it's not like your kids are like little tiny kids either, though.
No,
you weren't making a 6-year-old watch this shit and have nightmares.
Right. Well, I mean, at the same time, though,
Go ahead.
Just saying, it's still kept them up at night thinking about like, wow, this stuff's pretty serious, right, Dad? And I'm like, yeah, you can absolutely do everything. You can be a rule follower, and you can get wrecked by being a rule follower. They hadn't quite internalized that concept.
Makes sense. All right, guys.
My daughter is she experienced seeing her parents. Well, me, I don't work for anyone, so it was just easy for me to not make that commitment. But she watched her mother, who was in the medical field for damn near 10 years, jump ship because of the vax mandates. And so I think she has an impressionable experience and memory about that, and how her parents, decided to go the lonely route instead of going the route that everyone else, a lot of people went. So yeah.
What a legacy, man. What a legacy of strength all around.
Yeah, during that time period too, Blood Channel almost turned into a mask review channel. He was going hard in the paint with the different masks. It was like, I thought he was pivoting. I thought he was gonna be crypto masks.
Crypto masks.
Or mask blood.
Shout out to the Blockchain Report. Thank you for the memberships there, brother.
That gets them entered into your wheel, right?
It sure does. He's being placed on there right now.
Hola, happy hump days to you guys.
Nice. Yeah,
BitSource AML Solutions say we all love crypto blood.
Yeah, right. Who doesn't? Yeah, I think on some of that stuff with all that stuff that happened though post 2019, we'll just say 2019 through 2021. One of the things that I liked the most about that time was that we were given this really great cover of law to go and improve our privacy. Most people started to think about that differently. One of my kids, for example, he learned how to fully, keep his identity locked down, learned how to use cash and go obtain prepaid SIM cards and things like that. He started to work this situation to his advantage. And I had a proud papa moment where just one of them started to do that and figure out, okay, they're giving me anonymity. That's a gift. I'm going to take advantage of it. Yeah. But it was only one of them.
So in today's episode, guys, we are talking preppers, not peppers, but preppers.
Well, I mean, I thought it'd be good for us just kind of share some of the things that we've been doing personally to prepare for this inevitable shit hits the fan situation, which is obviously inevitable. And I just think the more that people are prepared, the better off the people will be. And that's where, kind of when we were last week, we were talking little things about it. And I think community is obviously probably the most important thing, because otherwise you're just out there Ramboing it against the rest of the world. So having a little tribe of people to work with, you can build off of each other's strengths and weaknesses. There's some things that I can't do that Blood can do, and vice versa. So those kind of situations put us in good scenarios. So try to get to know your neighbors.
So let me start. I want to kick it off with, I think, a very, and I'm sure Seth will agree with this, for me, the number one thing I think a family or individual needs to have communicated with their family, or like you said, close circle or whatnot, tribe, is an emergency meetup location.
Yes,
That's a good one.
That's and you can go abstract it even one more from their blood. I'll let you finish, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm agreeing with you early, and I'll probably be agreeing with you often during this whole hour. But like but having those plans laid out for people who are in your local network, you can't be having an extra set of hands and an extra set of eyes in a tricky situation, right? So let's move it away from the whole like a situation where there might not be rule of law or where there might be a serious geopolitical conflict. Let's just go back to acts of God. We saw a hurricane blow through. We saw a bunch of literal tornadoes spin off of a hurricane. I don't know if you've ever observed this before, right? So there's a lot of people who've seen some crazy things coming out of probably manufactured weather, but weather.
Well, there's a hurricane in Texas. The hurricane in Texas, and that put a bunch of people out of power.
Yes.
So that's obviously a situation that you would need to prepare yourself for.
Remember the snowstorm in Texas that took out all of the grids in Texas?
Yeah. Ironically,
it's like 21, something like that.
Yeah. So I think the loss of communications, the communications network, I think is probably, in my opinion, guys, one of the things that people don't think about too much. They think about food, they think about ammo and all that, but to have a plan of action in case the communications networks go down, I think is number one. Because if you don't know where you don't have eyes and ears, you don't know where your group is, then that by itself can really mess you up. So I think the number one thing in my family, we did this. We say, okay, if communication is lost, we are going to meet. XYZ is going to get this kid. XYZ is going to get this kid, and then we're going to meet at XYZ location.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I think the next step in that plan is that occasionally you won't know why somebody might be delayed, and so you need to identify time frames that you'll wait in order to meet up with somebody. And you may also want to have additional communication devices. This is a Baofeng. It's a cheap radio. These when I bought them, they were $20 on Amazon. So this is the Baofeng radio. You can get the built up long. Is it
like a long range, like walkie-talkie?
Long range walkie-talkie. Yep.
Not satellite. Not satellite. Though.
No, not satellite. It looks like a toy, but it's $20, man. So to cover a whole family, you're less than a bill for most families. And then you have redundancy of being able to be on the same frequency, literally. Now, the great thing about this particular one is the Baofeng is sorry, I'm pronouncing it the Chinese way. Baofeng. Yeah. But these guys in particular, when you get them, there is an unlock code that unlocks more bands. It's strictly speaking not legal to do that. Right now, I'm just warning anybody that does this. You would have to have your operator's license, right, for radio, right, your official operator's license for certain types of radio. So, but preparing for that and getting what you need to do that, it goes a long way towards helping you in that kind of without rule of law situation if it did get worse. And if that's the case, why would you care about whether or not it's illegal to broadcast over the air? You just need to be able to get a hold of people, right? Once we get to that point.
Right. And I think obviously, having a family plan is good. And I think a meeting place, communication, all those kind of things, definitely things that people need to, and it doesn't have to just be your immediate family. It could be part of this community too, that you're trying to form as well. Not just anybody important in your life that you're trying to make sure you're keeping close to you when the situations take place.
Yeah. And I'll say, so just to finish off that idea, because it's only $20, this is a very common birthday, Christmas, just visiting housewarming gift that people look at me funny, but it's like there are members of the extended family who have these because we put them in their homes and said, I'm going to set it over here on its charger and turn it on. If you ever hear my voice coming through it, shit's on. Like something's not right.
That's a good way of putting it. Another communication thing that I think is really cool. I don't have one. It's something I definitely need to invest in. I've talked about it a lot of times, and for people that are into the cryptocurrency space, and we talk about lack of power and things like that, there is ways for people to be able to utilize these networks still. by creating mesh networks and using different types of
low
wave frequency. Yeah. And one of the best ones is Gotenna.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they still have the thing that they were doing with Samurai Wallet or not. There was a thing that they were doing with Samurai, but
I remember.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. On that note, so what you have right there are a couple of really great open source projects that would leverage other LoRaWAN devices that you maybe just have lying around. This is so disclosure. This is a client of mine, so this is just a visual aid. But this is a similar device by Chirp Wireless, LoRaWAN. Most of them are, you can get the core components. Something like this is not yet mounted on the top of the house.
Yeah, it's big. Are that the antennas right there?
These are two antennas. One is for the LoRa radio. The other one is a 2400 megahertz radio. So they are two different radios that have two different purposes. But yeah, it's badass. This thing will go like miles and miles and miles and miles, and you can turn it into a mesh. You can repurpose some of these devices as well. Not this one. I would strongly recommend you don't repurpose this one. They're just launching. They're trying to do their crypto thing, and so I guess I am indirectly promoting them right now. But you don't have to get theirs. This is a visual aid. Something that's like this overbuilt is if you're thinking about a mesh network and you buy anything that is less robust than this, it ain't doing what it says it's going to do. You need all this.
I'm not seeing anything in regards to Gotenna and Samurai's stuff. It's all a bunch of old information about their partnership, but I'm not actually seeing like a website so far or anything. So I don't know if that's all got discontinued or not.
Of course.
But the Gotenna itself still has a lot of good functionality.
O'Neill brings up a point which I think is easily answered. This may be a dumb question. No question is dumb in my opinion. Why is there a law for bandwidth?
Oh yeah, so it has to do with different frequencies. Yeah, different frequencies they're reserved by different broadcasting authorities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the FCC they govern that here in the United States, but then you figure with the long wave radio, or rather the long distance radios, you can, where we are here in the United States, you could be broadcasting to Canada, you could be broadcasting to Mexico. It might not even be our internet, like our nation's space anymore. So oftentimes there are agreements on exactly which frequencies are divvied up for what, including stuff like our cell phones. They have a dedicated number of frequencies that are used, and not all those are even 5G. In operation right now. Yeah, all of that.
5G has all of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but then there's
I like this idea of cans and string communication. Maybe we can just line up some string around on the poles.
But a little bit of fiber optic thrown in, just for good measure.
What about this question with the marine radios having unsuspected bandwidth for land?
Yeah, so
think about that one.
No, marine radios they're quite well. That's a great question, because some of the radios they're designed to go over very long distances, and they would save your life, right? If you're in a powered down situation in the middle of the ocean and you needed a signal for help, that's the whole point there, that they have relatively long distances there. So you can look into some of those and have some of those ranges built in for you, but it's not exactly fit for purpose. You don't want to have a marine radio inside of your house. Like, you can get something that looks more like a walkie-talkie or like just a CB.
Well, apparently it's showing here the Customs, Border Protection, different air support operations have been utilizing the Gotenna technology to create their mesh networks, it's being used for military purposes as well. And this, if I'm not mistaken, I think Gotenna is something that's used at events like Burning Man, where you're out in the middle of nowhere and you're trying to create your own network so you have some communication. And I believe that's done via things like Gotenna and creating mesh networks, if I'm not mistaken.
Gotcha.
I think also, if we're talking about not even like just shit hitting the fan, just natural disasters, like having alternate sources of power.
Yes.
Obviously food and water is kind of the obvious.
Well, it's not as obvious. Some people, you'll get some preppers who are you'll see that they have stacks and stacks of these, and now it's like you can get a Walmart or Costco special, right? Depending on which markets you're in, some of their national purchasers are buying this stuff, but like the giant, they look like, like Home Depot style, like construction buckets of food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, well, it's kind of commercialized there. So you get a lot of people storing that up and then not knowing what their plan is for water. I got a visual aid though. Let me run and get this one real fast.
Water, I mean, there's a lot of different interesting concepts. There's someone that I'm going to be trying to interview that's created some kind of like barrel that it's like in the shape of a barrel, and you can plug in hoses. It's for outside, and it replenishes the water. It takes out all the toxins and anything that would be considered not good for us as far as water. And it was a way to be able to store water too, because it stores like, I think, a week's worth of drinking water for like X amount of people.
Yeah, the Berkey gravity filter. Most people use that at home. Preppers that know, they use that at home, and you can use it for a given number of gallons, and you just pour water on the top side of it, and then it's got a little spigot on the bottom. It looks like just the old Gatorade buckets or whatever. But
what about life straws?
They're great.
Yeah,
they're great, and
you
they're
just stick it in. You just stick it in the water and you suck.
I mean, you got to suck for a while, otherwise you don't get the tasty surprise at the end. So, just saying, because there's a lot of filtration in there.
Right.
So, yeah,
it's like a filtered straw.
Yeah, exactly right. So these guys, I'll have an undisclosed number of these packages, but that's because everybody in the family needs to have a backup and a backup for their backup, and one in their backpack and one in the bug out bag. But you can't get too many of these, is what I'm saying. And this goes with you everywhere. So if you have to bug out, you have clean water everywhere.
And it's pretty much, I mean, are all of these like scientifically proven to clean out the water that's ingesting? Are there different levels depending on what you're paying for? Because you would be this would be more of something that you would have more expertise in this area.
Well, I mean, I don't want to oversell it. I was a Boy Scout, just not an Eagle Scout, because, I guess my mom didn't go get an Eagle Scout for me. That's what it boiled down to during the years I was doing that. So, but I have an awful
mother, man. That's awful of her. She's
the worst, the absolute worst. Terrible.
If Mama Biz is watching, you were a bad mom.
Yeah. Well, she lets me get this stuff for the boys, and they're even more paranoid than I am. It's just great. You would love it. They're just great. So anyway, there it is. Gravity barrel. He's got that
gravity barrel may be similar to what this guy, because there's a guy that I'm going to be interviewing. I'll show you this really cool concept of this idea that they got. It's
Now we know that's just a big ass bong.
This is like it's a safe that you can bury into the ground. So this right here is just a tube, and you put the tube into the ground. It's got this top. It's got a slit in the top for this metal wire that goes to the actual safe itself. So once you dig a hole, you put this thing into the hole. I'm going to be interviewing the guy tomorrow afternoon. You put this thing into the hole, and then you would drop the safe into, and then you cover it back up with this thing, and then you would cover back up with dirt, and you've got like a safe that's underground.
Okay. So it's a bug out capsule.
In a sense, but it'd be just a way for you to like store, like, instead of having a safe inside your house.
Geocache. I mean, you could, so you could geocache it. Dude, that's pretty amazing.
You could drop a
map
places.
pen. Yeah, geocache it just out in the middle of public land, even if you hide it.
It's a pretty cool concept, and I think other people have done it, but he makes these himself. So I'm going to be doing an affiliate thing with these. And then he also showed me some sort of, and it may be similar to that barrel thing, but it's something that is used outside that you hook up hoses to. And you can use it to water your lawn. You can use it for your own personal water and all these things. And it's constantly replenishing itself, and it's cleaning itself while it's doing that. So I'm not sure if that's what. I wish it was an earth bond. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it's a bubbler. It looks like a bubbler.
But it's a pretty nifty little idea. I'm not giving away the name of the product until I put the video out, and so people can actually see what it is.
Okay, that's very cool. Yeah, geocaching
cool.
is as a concept, geocaching it's not strictly speaking a prepping concept, but it can be if you're thinking about it that far in advance. Right. And then also, if you know that like Blood was saying, combining some of those strategies, right? Having a little geocache capsule like that, like what you just showed there, Rice, but then also having it be at some third party location where you're going to meet up, so that in the event that anything bad happened, you can have a little supply of things that the group is going to need. offsite,
Right.
away from your houses if you think your homes are compromised.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. And I mean, even just the fact of like us being crypto people, you know, the more public we become, the more target we could be. So having the shit outside when people are coming in and looking for it inside, I think definitely helps. So
Yeah.
it's a way of protecting your assets as well. And I wasn't even thinking about what you were getting at, which is the idea of being able to place these things strategically in places that you would be setting up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, one of the easiest ways to, and we're seeing it now more recently with some of these weird home invasions where like the guys that were caught in Florida that were like that gang of guys that was jacking people for crypto. Do you guys read that story?
Yes.
People are looking, they're looking to do the home invasions and try to search your home for the goods. So it's a very good idea to keep your valuables outside of the home.
No, I heard about all those millionaires, like those crypto millionaires that are being taken out, but I didn't know about Florida. I figured more of Mexico would end up being that crypto honeypot.
Nah, man, different. They were active across, I think, 4 or 5 different U.S. states. So they were coordinated. They bought that information. Clearly, they bought information from the insiders at a couple of centralized exchanges because they were hoping to get away with an easy haul, just break into somebody's house, hit them over the head with a $5 wrench once or twice, and then have them give up their password to Coinbase or something, so they could go get an easy score. But if they can find your seed phrase plate, equally easy, right? Or whatever you're backing up.
Yeah, and hopefully they know. I mean, hopefully you have idiots who don't know what they're doing. They just think they need a device. And
right.
No,
You can give them a dummy.
Nowadays,
People are
it
savvy.
ain't like days of the old, Rice. People are more aware.
Yeah. On that note, so really quickly, if you're going to geocache something, I've got this is a home cut seed phrase plate. You can go to a home improvement store and get 1/8 inch steel flat bar like this. You can cut it, and then you can use something like a carbide tip scribe. Just hit it once with some paint and then scratch it in. It's enough that it won't rust, and it should withstand chemical damage too, so flooding, fire, chemical damage. Or if you wanted to go with electro engraving, get some cheap alligator clips and a 9-volt battery, and you can, if you're inclined, if you're that kind of a maker person that likes doing that sort of stuff, there's a couple of really inexpensive ways to put important data onto a little steel plate like this and put it into a geocache like what Rice was showing.
well, that's also that's one of the things that the guy that did the safe thing, he's got like a little metal plate and it's got one of those pins that is like a scratch pin. He's giving an offer of like, you get that with the safe, or you get 10 coin sleeves.
That's awesome, man. I just like having these around. Like if anyone was wondering what I'm always scratching my head with, it's one of those, because it doubles as a
dude, this thing is
savvy.
dangerous. Yeah, I was saying this thing is dangerous. Like that is like a metal pin. Like you could definitely stab somebody with that thing.
For sure.
So yeah, it comes with a metal plate, so you can put the metal plate. So he wanted to do something for the crypto community in addition to the safe, and that's why he added that aspect. So it sounds
really good. That's convenient, dude. Yeah, the way he just packaged all of it, that's great, man.
It's a cool idea. And there's different size safes too. But yeah. As far as some of the other things, obviously, I mean, being able to, if we're crypto people and we're talking about a power grid situation being taken down, which could happen in natural disasters, and if it happened for any long length of time, especially if you're like in Puerto Rico and you're stranded, you got to have some sort of way of being able to barter. Like you got to be able to get the things that you need that you didn't prepare for. And that's where things like gold and silver, copper, any bartering item, your own self, your skills.
Yeah, people don't think about some of the other stuff.
Okay, Rice. Look, I'm not doing no prostitution. All right.
When did I say prostitution? I just said what were you
yourself? You said barter yourself.
Your skills. I didn't mean your. I didn't mean
you said
barter.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
There's a line you cross.
There is a line. I'm talking about like your actual like skills that are outside of sexual activities.
Talents.
No, talents could be in the.
Talents could fall under that. as well.
There's talented coochies.
There are talented coochies for sure. Now, my question, you know, we all three of us are crypto people. On a scale of one to 5, what's your confidence in crypto in a scenario where all of a sudden power goes out, grids out, no communication, network communications are out indefinitely? How do you guys feel about that? What viability, is there any utility in crypto as it stands today in that scenario, as it stands right now?
I don't think so, personally.
Now you have to think about not only yourself, even if you're prepared, you got a low frequency.
Yeah, I don't think so. No, it's and I
no
think
one else is going to have that.
Which is why I personally diversify with the precious metals aspect, and then I do have bartering stuff I can barter with. So I kind of think in that element.
You can barter your body. We know.
I'm not bartering my body.
We already know.
I'm talking about things that we have already talked about on the show, like stuff that you see here, like first aid products, medicines, antibiotics, ammunition, alcohol, coffee, cigarettes, batteries. I would even include marijuana, toilet paper. We know from 2020, toilet paper, like it can go a long way. Candles,
I mean, so feminine hygiene products too. Here's the thing, man. There's no
skills. They don't talk about prostitution at all. Just so you're aware.
Oh, okay, great.
I'd say on the barter thing, a lot of families and a lot of these groups from mutual aid, feminine hygiene products run out fast, right? They run out very, very fast, right? Unfortunately, the way that modern society is, that there's a lot of waste in that industry. So in a prepping grid down scenario where you will have millions of women who don't have any other habits, they're going to need those things in the early phases of a really bad grid down scenario. So even if you're a dude, especially, there's no risk of you running through a cache of 1,000 tampons, but you'll be the most popular man in town if you're the last one to have tampons available. Just saying.
Yeah, and from what I understand, like if you were to go into a female prison, it's probably one of the grossest smells you'll get. It's what I've gathered from a couple different YouTube videos that talk about it. Some prison officers that work in the prisons and stuff, and it's apparently rank.
Yeah. And on the more pleasant side of barter, though, one thing that wasn't mentioned there, you mentioned some of the other stuff, the niceties like coffee. People, who doesn't like to kind of wake up to a little jolt of caffeine, right, and have their day started right. There's some stuff that people, just the chocolate. If you had, and without even having it be like we were talking earlier about the best size, weight, and distribution of silver, right? The same thing is true with chocolate. You're not going to go trading like whole chocolate bars for things. If you had chocolate chips, you can downstock those by weight, and you can do some trade that way. So even if somebody isn't baking or whatever, man, I'll just tell you, in a situation where people have been without most of their creature comforts for about a week or two, the smallest taste of chocolate boosts morale like you wouldn't believe.
Well, it's also it does something in the brain, the chemistry of the brain too. So, and I think when you're dealing with like a lot of stress and anxiety, anything you can do that's going to fire up your brain in a positive way, it's definitely, I think, a good thing. And I mean, obviously, women, they love chocolate, especially dark chocolate, especially when it's the crypto blood time of the month.
I was waiting.
That's what you are. That fluid that comes out once.
I was waiting, bro. Thank you for giving me the shout out. Thank you.
No problem, man.
Are you saying? So this was Crypto Damas's? Was your long-term bottom support level for Bitcoin 28,000?
Bottom support. Now we're talking about gay stuff.
Well, no, when it bleeds out, when it bleeds all the way out, it'll be 28,000.
69.
All right.
Yeah.
69 420.
So, oh, wait, hold on.
A bug out location too, I think is even good.
Yes. Far away.
I mean, it's hard to cover all this stuff. I mean, unless we were to sit down and really plan out an episode and go through very strategically, it's just more of a loose conversation of things. And I put a few things up. This is a loose one
to get people's wheels turning. And really, I didn't get a chance to get a response from Seth on this. How do you feel about crypto in the scenario that we've just spoken about?
Well, you see me surrounded by the trappings of somebody who thinks that other stuff is important in an emergency.
Yes.
Actions speak louder than words, my friend. I have faith in my preparation. I know that. Yeah, I have faith in my preparation. Not crypto in a situation like that.
That's pretty cool. I haven't checked out the map here on PrepperNet where it has like a city listing for meetups and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that stuff like that is also a honeypot. Like there are probably a lot of well-meaning people there, but the internet being what it is, the information and then vetting the information, it's all available online.
This particular company, Prepper.net or PrepperNet.com, is the company that the Danger Close Alpha Project worked with when they did their in-person event, their Prepper event. If you remember about that.
Yeah, I bought an NFT to support, but I didn't go to the event.
So yeah, it has something to do with these guys, and I realized that when they were based in the Charlotte, North Carolina area, because the 704 number. But two other ways that people can connect up with people with this meetup group. Another way that people can connect, I've mentioned, is freedomcells.org, which is a way for people to connect up with people in their local area. So these are just sites that people can explore if you're looking at ways to create communities, chat with like-minded people, find people in your area. Great resources.
Nice.
Because again, I think community is probably one of the biggest things that you can have, because if you're thinking about doing this with just you and your immediate family, let's just say like your wife, your girlfriend, kids, whatever the situation might be, if you were doing it with a group of families as opposed to just your family, you could be preparing that much more effectively by making sure that everybody's supplying different things in combinations so that everybody has exactly what they would need in those scenarios. Whereas if you're doing it by yourself, you may be limiting how much surplus and stock that you'll be able to set back.
Yeah, no, totally agreed. I would say one caution there, though, is that if you're setting up the so-called mutual aid association or a group of people that you would reach out to, if the distance to travel when you're meeting up is too great, you introduce a new complication. So if it's an act of God, if you're somewhere that there's a bad fault line and there could be seismic activity and roads are shaken loose or something, or with hurricanes, we've seen it. Hurricane Andrew in '93 blew the sidewalks off the road.
What was the hurricane that took out New Orleans? New Orleans was underwater for quite some time. It decimated. I mean,
Katrina?
That was it.
Yeah,
military was out there handling it. It was almost like martial law there.
Well, it was martial law. They sent Blackwater.
Yeah,
they actually. No, they did.
Yeah,
they sent Blackwater.
I thought that was correct, but yeah,
I didn't know they sent Blackwater.
Yeah, they were shooting people in the streets.
Yeah,
it was martial law.
They were shooting black people in the water. Blackwater was shooting black people in the water. Round of applause, motherfucker.
There were white people that got shot too, man.
Oh no. Media lets us know the truth. It was only black people that were affected. Right?
Fuck the white people.
You're being insensitive right now.
Yeah, they sent Blackwater to.
I'm not being DEI enough for you, homie.
Speaking of, it's so crazy. We bring up Blackwater. I was just watching or reading something yesterday about Blackwater. I didn't realize that they shut down. There was some drama in the deep state with Blackwater and all that, and end up I forgot the guy's name. I don't know, Seth, if you know the founder of Blackwater, but he dismantled the whole organization, and then the one aspect or entity within Blackwater spun off and started Jellyfish.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Federal contracts don't die; they multiply.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, and they get their start. They get their start from fucking our intelligence. So, like, our intelligence agencies are like the ones that help to start fund these things. Mm-hmm. That's why now that's why there's this big push in the cryptocurrency space for the private sector, which I had mentioned this before, like years ago, when the whole Coinbase, Steve Mnuchin situation was going on, that they were going to have the private sector doing the technology for the programmable currencies. And a lot of these companies are straight intelligence companies, like Peter Thiel and his shit. All these things are coming from government agency funding. It's like the FBI and CIA have gotten into venture capital.
Because why wouldn't they? Jeez.
No, they have.
What do you mean they've gotten into it? It's been that way the whole time, Rice. Think about it. Like all of your technological advancements we've had in our society has come from DARPA. The internet, mobile chips, everything.
Al Gore created the internet, man. Come on.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, Al. Smack those light booties, Al.
Smack them light booties.
If you're watching this broadcast over your invention right now, smack those. Yeah.
Like, I'm going to reverse the question on you because I don't think crypto is really going to do a lot when shit hits the fan or natural disasters.
So
but
that's
things
a
like
three. That's a 3 for me. That's 3 for me too. That makes 3. Me too. I believe the same thing. So all 3 of us. So it's just good.
But how do you feel about gold and silver in that aspect though? Precious metals, copper, all that shit.
Nope. I'm not a fan either.
Same. Yeah. Ammo.
Food.
Medicine.
Yep. Toilet tissue, feminine products, like the things you probably wouldn't think of in a norm, like as us thinking about it now in a functioning society. But you got to take yourself out of the normalcy bias framework and think about when everything hits the fan, gold and silver. Man, Pookie on 7 Mile don't know what the fuck a bar of gold, an ounce of gold is worth. Come on now.
Pookie, yeah, but I don't know if Pookie's going to survive very well in these situations.
Shit, they're already in apocalyptic environments. They're going to do very well.
Some of those environments are very apocalyptic. They're going to do just
fine.
Baltimore's definitely apocalyptic, and those Baltimoreans will be able to survive. Even the
white people. You take the guy that did the YouTube video. It went viral years and years ago, about a decade ago. He would go out and have a troy ounce of gold and a Snickers bar.
Yeah, and people take the Snickers.
People butchered it, bro. They have no clue, Rice.
But that's by
chocolate chips, man. Store those chocolate chips for barter.
It's by design.
And take their gold.
It's by design because they don't want people to have gold and silver. Because they don't want people to have that option. So they don't put no relevance to it. I think if they were to teach people the properties of silver and gold in school and things like that, and teach them how credit works and how to properly balance your checkbook and all those things, whereas they don't teach you none of that. And the system is designed for people not to even save money. So the people that save money are the ones that lose. But if you are playing the game the right way, if you're taught the right way, you can finagle this thing. You get a credit card, you charge up 30% a month, and you pay that thing off before the interest is due. You're getting a payday loan in a sense, and you're just building credit, and you're not giving them any extra money. But these are things that just aren't taught. And it's part of the conditioning and lots of different aspects. That's why people are just now starting to wake up, like over the past few years, because there's been talk about banks purchasing outrageous amounts of gold and silver. So now you have Walmart, Sam's Club, and all that shit now offering precious metals. There is a demand for it. There is now a demand for it.
Again, it goes back to price versus value. People may value it, but the price is going to be not what you expect in a scenario like that.
So I agree with that, and would also say my anxiety would be about defending that store of value, not keeping it. So I'm going to be defending it anyway. I've got to be thinking about that, and it's better to get along. So yeah, I mean, most currencies, if you're in a really bad situation, like kindness, community, that's your currency. If you can convince people to help you out with stuff, like and you can offer useful things to them, that becomes the currency in an emergency situation. I've been so a couple of hurricanes when I was living in Miami, in shelters, nobody cares. Nobody cares if you have cash on you. Nobody cares if you have gold on you. Doesn't matter.
Real quick, we have over 1,000 people watching between all 3 of our YouTube, X, and my Rumble. So I appreciate everybody again. If you haven't smashed that like button, please take an opportunity to do so. And if you are watching on X, those reposts help bring more eyes on these live streams. And we have links for each other's channels and socials below in the video description. Had to get that out of the way. But shout out to all those people.
What is Omnibone referring to? S7s and S7. S7LNs.
Or that has nothing to do with mass, does it? No.
Help us out, Omni.
I still have my S7s and S7LNs.
Oh, miners.
Oh, they're miners. Okay. What are they, like Dogecoin miners?
Yeah, those are going to be script miners. I'm not
SHA-256 is script, or script is
no.
different than SHA-256, right?
Script is Litecoin and Dogecoin.
I was gonna say Litecoin script, and then
Bitcoin is SHA.
But doesn't Litecoin has SHA-256 encryption, though, doesn't it?
No, it uses elliptical curves. It uses elliptical curve digital signatures.
EDM,
I didn't know that. Okay, interesting.
EDCAM or whatever it is.
Yeah. So and as far as that goes, I mean, so a strategy for incorporating Bitcoin into your preparations, I think one is to make sure that first off, if you don't have paper wallets, rethink that. If the grid's down, maybe rethink your decision not to have paper wallets, at least receiving addresses. Rethink your decision not to have paper wallets, and realize also that while it's incredibly tedious, there are ways to do the long form math to actually physically sign a transaction with your private key. You'd never want to, but think about the fact that that's possible.
Damn, I didn't even think about that, and that's
paper wallets.
Can't figure out what a troy ounce of gold is, Seth, brother.
That's why it's the bank of blood. Here's the thing: it's the bank of blood. People bring you real value. You manage the on-chain transactions with the remaining 50.
But there really are blood banks. That's where people give their blood. There's no withdrawal; it's just deposits. Paper wallets. I think we've talked about this before, but with paper wallets, what is the best way for someone to create a paper wallet with not having it tracked on a website, and not having the data stored on in a printer, and things like that?
Very few people, Seth will bring it up, but very few people know this very fact, Rice, is that you can generate an unlimited number of new wallets on a computer that's never touched the internet.
That's the way. That's the way you keep it from hitting the memory of a network connected printer. But the other thing is you don't have to use network connected printers if you do want to print it. You also don't have to print it at all. You can transcribe if you really want to. It's not going to take you that long. You can transcribe it and by hand just write down the address. Now you're getting into this territory of like, well, did I commit an error there? And it gets a little bit murky there. Let me name a tool that most people could use. And like you said, I'll just put it in our private chat if you feel like putting it up on screen. Free and open source. It's on GitHub. I know Blood has seen this and used it, but they update it pretty regularly, and it'll let you create wallets for any network. And then you don't have to print out the private keys. You can print out just the public keys, so you know that you can receive that way with QR codes.
Yeah, so that would be a paper public, and then I'm hiding my private, but there's nothing on this, and this is a wallet that I got at a conference. And conferences, you'll find a lot of these, which I always tell people to be careful with too, because you don't know what you're scanning.
Yeah,
but that's a paper wallet, so it has the public information and the private information. So then you can sweep it, put it into a wallet, however you want to do it.
Yeah, sweeping it makes sense, but having somebody just hand you a private key like that, it's compromised. It's kind of like what's it called, Ballet Wallet? Yeah, every single thing that they sell, compromised.
Well, check it out. I'm going to be, since you said that, I'm going to be actually doing moderating a panel at Litecoin conference about self-custody and ballet and Arculus.
Just remember the rhyme. Ballet is not the way.
Ballet and Arculus are going to be on there.
Now, what I like about Arculus, and I've asked them pretty directly, they do seed phrase import.
I got to hit them with the rim shot on that one, bro.
They adhere to BIP39 standards, and I just sent over the Ian Coleman BIP39 tool. If you look on GitHub, if you go, they've got a little page there where if you follow it, it'll bring you to the releases. So scroll down, it'll say standalone offline version. Scroll on down the page.
Yep.
And standalone offline version, and it'll give you a link there.
This?
Yeah, go. Well, click on that where it says the releases, and then and from there, see that's the most recent update. They don't need to update this very often. The standards don't shift that frequently, but Ian Coleman publishes pretty regular updates, and hundreds of people have forked this code, so it's being developed separately, and it's been audited by tons of people. So not backdoored. It's using actual local number generation. Ian Coleman isn't getting like a phone home with your seed phrase or whatever. This is a truly open source and free tool. And yeah, you can run this on an old
GitHub.
phone.
Yeah, I mean, people can audit the code and make sure that there's no discrepancies in it.
Correct. Yeah, and that they've also
PGP signature.
Yeah, and beyond all that, beyond the PGP signature, beyond the hash, right? Why am I doing a brain fart here?
You said hash.
Yeah, well, beyond the checksum. There you go. Beyond the checksum.
Well, I thought it was a hash. I thought because pot does that. So hash is a derivative of pot. So I just figured, maybe you just had a moment.
Yeah, but beyond having the checksum, so you downloaded the right thing.
Right. You
can run this on any old device, an offline phone, an offline laptop, an old Raspberry Pi, anything that runs code at all, or could run a web browser and run a simple web page. I mean, literally an ancient computer from the late 1990s. You can run
Internet Explorer browser. Anyone run this browser?
AOL, man. Dial-up.
IE.
Yeah. Now I might be mistaken with some of the special libraries that CPUs will need to process this, but so maybe not that extreme of like something from the 1990s, but anything relatively recent, that last 10, 20 years, you'll be able to run this code and make yourself a bunch of paper wallets. Even they look digital on the screen.
Yeah, but apparently you don't want to get paper cuts from paper wallets.
Yeah. Well, and BitSource AML is also talking about like there's an extreme when it comes to the DIY aspect of all this too. And that's a really good call out. That's why we were talking about, whatever, right? Yeah. Cut down the tree. Sorry, you missed the part where you plant the seed, grow the field, and then cut down the tree. Like, give yourself a little more lead time and a little more credit. You can do it. I believe in you. Grow the tree, then cut it down. But stuff like this, right, where it's like, no, this is the convenient portable option. What you see on screen, it's the convenient portable option.
Well, sometimes when you have something convenient, you're trading off security, sir.
Not this though.
That's why I want to make sure that we're ensuring our security. Okay. I don't like convenience if it fucks up my security.
Yeah. So this is about as close to cutting down the tree and making the papyrus or whatever that I would be comfortable with. So
laminate your paper wallet for waterproofing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
I guess you could take one of these safes and put it in the ocean. And then you can laminate all your shit. You can laminate your money. You can laminate your silver. You can laminate your social security card when you put it in there.
Right. Somewhere along the eastern seaboard, there's a little tub with all of Rice's vital details and records inside of it.
Somewhere. Just like somewhere there's that Jerry Springer video.
Cue it.
Has anybody like
cue it?
Giving
you gotta play it, bro.
Has anybody given you proof for the video?
None.
Okay.
Which is great. I don't have to cough up $100.
We'll do a special show and like together we'll come up with something because I would think it'd be interesting if people can take an opportunity to find it. But yeah, I'll give everybody that teaser moment once again. Make sure you guys smash that like button for this lady here too.
What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck to and spit on that thing. You get me?
I don't get you. I think you gotta demonstrate.
Huck to and spit on it. Spit on it.
He was trying to get her to really. He wanted her to really demonstrate.
IRL hawk tour.
I actually saw something about her. I found her Instagram account and stuff because a lot of people are kind of contemplating as to she a school teacher, did she get fired, all this kind of stuff, and she explains a little bit about
who she is. Is that Drew from Blockchain Basement?
That actually is.
Oh.
That actually is. And Drew, yeah, we can actually do a continuation of this type of show and definitely invite you on. This is definitely his
right
area.
Up his alley. Absolutely. I mean, shout out to Drew.
Also, what's his name? Jason Casper.
The farm trader.
Yeah, he's basically done a lot of like prep type stuff. I mean, like the way he lives is off grid.
Yeah.
Well, he's a full blown homesteader. I mean, he's got like livestock and
that's what I'm saying.
Crops,
Yeah,
the whole thing.
That's even more perfect. But yeah, definitely Drew. And Drew, I did email you back about the blockchain basement. I just never heard back from you. So
yeah, me either.
I'll be in Nashville, so I'm pretty sure you'll be there since Discover will be there. So if you're going to be there, let's definitely connect, Drew. And you guys want to do a continuation of this next Wednesday?
I mean, if Drew, let's
get Drew on.
Widen the circle. Open the mutual aid association, like you said.
Yeah.
It pays to have friends in a grid down situation.
Get Drew in, and we can get some more. You know, look, we're just trying to bring value to the audience. You know, and do something different. You know, we're crypto guys, but again, as you guys just saw, all three of us said that crypto is not a primary means of survival for an apocalyptic situation. So, you know, these are gems you guys need to be aware of. Many other people in the space might not be speaking like this because they're afraid to, and it's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Crypto.
They're not. There's not a lot of
nothing to do with that.
A lot of these crypto content creators really are blowing smoke up people's asses and just trying to put out content they think people want to hear, as opposed to like really giving truth.
Right.
So, and I'm not calling out anybody. It is what it is.
Yeah, next week we'll get Drew on from the blockchain basement. That'll be great.
Because this is definitely up his alley. I mean, this is stuff that we've talked about before, and we've talked about doing shows in regards to this subject as well. So it'll be great. And we could shoot for the same time, which is 4:05 p.m. Eastern time, Drew. But we'll definitely talk before then. But that's when we're shooting for, is 4 o'clock next Wednesday. Yeah, well, I think that'd be a good point for us to end it, and then kind of think about ideas between now and next Wednesday as some more things that we could talk about. And I'm sure Drew will come at us with some pretty interesting information.
Exactly. No, that'll be great, man. Great episode. Make sure you guys hit that like button, share, follow us on X.
Yeah, I got the links pulled up. So we have, if you guys are not following me on the X side, I'm at RiceTVX. If you're not following Blood, you can find him at CryptoBlood_. And if you're not following Seth from MineYourBiz, you can find him at MineYour_biz. We got links for each other's channels, socials, and a video description. Make sure you subscribe to all of our channels. Make sure you smash that like button. And again, those reposts help. Sharing the videos help. So we greatly appreciate you doing that. Seth, you got any final thoughts?
Just that crypto being the store of value that it is, if this ever does happen, God forbid, then you won't regret having crypto after we rebuild. So it's still a good idea to be mindful of your crypto.
Crypto Blood, before you have your final thoughts, just shout out to the reverse Oreo. No, go ahead.
Oh man, this is great. Yeah, man, I agree with Seth. I'm not saying that crypto doesn't have a part in your plan. It's just not in the apocalyptic equation, in my opinion. So keep everything in context, and yeah, you'll be good. You'll be good to go.
Well, we appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Check out our channels. We all put out our own individual content, as well as coming together to do these reverse WWW3s. I just said 3 W's and a 3, which made no sense. But yeah, I think people know what I was trying to communicate. So I appreciate everybody taking the time to tune in. Again, got some really cool videos coming out the rest of this week. I interviewed Lynette Zhang. I'm going to put the full interview out, I think, Friday. Tomorrow, I think I want to do it live. I want to be doing an interview with Crypto Billy for the Billy Goat Tales. Their children's book came out. Yeah. I'm going to be on season 2, episode 3 next Tuesday for the Billy Goat Tales.
Yeah, I'm going to be
so we'll use that to promote.
Not your episode, but an episode. So
yeah, I think they're going to try to feature different companies and content creators throughout this season. So I definitely encourage people to check those out. You got any content coming up, Seth?
Yeah, I do actually. So I'll be interviewing the principals at Moby Media. They do a lot more activity on Twitter. And then there will be some other interviews that I've sandbagged for a while. I tend to just kind of slow drip them out. It's not something where I have a like daily or specific weekly publishing schedule because of the way that I've been working lately. But I'm trying to decrease the number, increase the quality, and make sure it's people.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt there. Kelly Kellum's in Brussels for some crypto conference. And apparently, like where the conference is a bad area. Apparently, there's a lot of crime in Brussels, from what I heard.
Yeah, somebody got mugged.
I saw a video of Vitalik Buterin running across the street by himself. It was just the weirdest thing. Like, there's no security.
Wow.
Whereas someone like Charles Hoskinson has security.
Yeah, I've got a real estate mogul that I'll be interviewing. Hopefully next week. Yeah, he's up there. He's friends with Robert Kiyosaki, so that should be interesting. And of course, tomorrow, Thursday, so I'll be trading. Come check me out. My 2 trades, probably 2 or 3 o'clock-ish, somewhere around there. Come check me out.
Nice. Well, again, man, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Smash that like button, repost. Make sure you're following the race of us. That is 3. Kelly said it's been beautiful and haven't felt any form of seediness. Awesome. Well, I mean, you're Kelly, and I'm pretty sure you're going to blend in there and you'll be all right, but it's the other people I'm worried about. So anyways, I do appreciate everybody taking the time to tune in. We will be coming back at you with this 3WW action next Wednesday, because that's what one of those W's is for Wednesday.
That's right.
Just so in case you didn't know. But we do appreciate you tuning in. We're going to ride out with this awesome AI hip hop track that Seth from MineYourBiz created for the Rice Crypto channel. Smash that like button. I encourage you, as always, to be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch you want to see in this matrix. Be the change you want to see in this world. Question everything. Know yourself. And until next time, holla.
RiceTVX, the Mike's Live Wire, American Pitbull, real gold buyer, sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he scores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold.
Twitter, what's my phone? See me, the stands, evergreen at the sun.
Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rights engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice the Pitbull, breaking the chain.
I'm gonna go to Twitter. That man from Skyler.
In the arena where truths collide, RiceTVX, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom like paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.